As part of Sheringham Museum's Folk Art Summer exhibition, the East Anglian Traditional Music Trust held an all-day workshop and filled the building with the strains of a dulcimer, dancing jig dolls, and the traditional sounds of melodeons and concertinas. The morning started with Squeeze East Concertinas entertaining with the tune None Such, dating back to 1651. Creating a great deal of interest was a collection of jig dolls. To make your doll dance, all you need is a good sense of rhythm, a bouncy tune, and a springy piece of timber.
How far did jig dolls go back?
Certainly we know that they were commercially first produced in about the late 1800s, and certainly we have examples in East Anglia of dolls that have been passed down the family and possibly up to 150 years old. Because they're made out of cheap spare pieces of wood, they were never designed to be lasting objects. They were just novelty percussion instruments that aided family music making.
Now, why is East Anglia particularly known for these dolls?
Well, I think it all marries to the fact that East Anglia has a very strong folk music history. We had numerous people locally who collected folk songs and managed to preserve them for us. So I think it's local music making, and these were novelty items used to enhance family music making, village bands music making, by almost the equivalent of a tap dancing sound or like playing the spoons. And this was a very cheap thing to produce as part of the novelty of the band. You need to have a nice springy piece of ply, and the idea is that you move the board, you don't actually move the doll. So it's a bit like viewing your doll as a hovercraft, and you get into rhythm, and some people use their knuckles, I tend to use my fingers, and you get into a nice bounce to fit with any music. It can be waltz time, 1, 3. It can be a running pace, and if you really sort of with a good doll, you can get the arms to go around as well. But fundamentally, you're trying to get the right tempo as a percussive instrument. And of course, our traditional folk music is perfect.
Visitors to the museum were able to have a go at making the jig dolls dance and try their hand at playing the melodeons. I had a go, but I think I need a lot more practice. In another corner of the museum, accomplished dulcimer player Richard Blake explained the basic tuning of his traditional East Anglian dulcimer, made by Henry Edwards in 1891.
Essentially what you've got is, you've got a bass side and a treble side, and the treble side is divided into two. These four bridges are in a straight line, so in other words you've got a fifth between. So the effect of that is, you've got do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. You've got a full octave there on four bridges, and that is the same wherever you go where there's dulcimers, that octave is always in the same place.
For more information about traditional music in East Anglia, you can contact the East Anglian Traditional Music Trust. The folk art exhibition, Time on Our Hands, continues every day at the Sheringham Museum until the 27th of October 2019.